So I've come to like a builder's warehouse to look for what the tools people have suggested: an electric chisel, rotating hammer, I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get one of those for the farm.
My heat's like an oven on crack. You can cut me up in pieces, stop my lung support, drown me if you can. I don't get upset. Put me out, all way out. I don't wanna waste my food. I wanna give you heart and soul, my heart and soul. No more rage. I don't wanna waste my food. I wanna give you heart and soul.
Well, as you might guess, I've guessed from the end of the last video, when you saw a plane taking off, I am in South Africa for a very, very, very short visit to sort out some family things and to attend my son's wedding. So I have to just share with you a couple of miracles and how I got my Portuguese residency. So way back in December, I went to see the Portuguese consulate in Oslo to ask about the D7 visa, which I need as a South African citizen. And they told me that because I have a Norwegian residence card, that I don't need the D7 visa. I just need to go to the local Camera and apply for Portuguese residency that way. So when I was in Portugal then in December, I had someone call the Camera in Fundão to make an appointment, because you can't see them without an appointment during this pandemic. And they asked what passport I had, and they said South African, and they said, no, sorry, you got to go back to your home country and apply for a D7 visa. So then that started months and months and months of stressing and doing more research and stress. And anyway, I then, let me try and put this in, yeah. So my son was going to be getting married 10th of July. And at that stage, we were hoping the pandemic and everything would be open. Everybody made their arrangements. He made all his bookings. And so I knew that I would be coming back to South Africa for a short, just a couple of weeks, sort out some family things and attend this wedding. But then South Africa got hit by the third wave, more travel restrictions came in, so it was looking unlikely that I would be able to come to South Africa, because I wouldn't be able to get back to Portugal because I didn't yet have Portuguese residency. And trying to make an appointment with SEF was a nightmare. I couldn't get through to them. I wasn't able to do it. It was, see this gray hair? That's what happened. So I did my big drive, my big epic drive down to Portugal. I started doing work on the farm, thinking there's a very good chance I'm not going to be going to South Africa. I'm going to miss this wedding. But, you know, the sperm donor wasn't going to be there. I'm the incubator. I've got to be there. So then on the Sunday last week, the president of South Africa did a whole, what he calls the family talk. and he put South Africa into a level 4 lockdown. And when he gave his speech, my son and his wife-to-be were halfway to South Africa. They were listening to the speech in Doha at the airport, and they were quite upset because it was looking like it might not happen. And then we decided, I'm definitely not coming. Then when he arrived in South Africa, he made some calls and he found out that the wedding could still happen, just for a smaller amount of people. And so he said to me, you know, Mom, this might be the last time that you are going to be able to see all three of your children together, and you know, my mom is getting old, so but no pressure. So I went to the camera in Fundau on the Monday, just on the off chance. I didn't have an appointment. I just went in. They only wanted to look at my attestado that I got, showing proof that I'm living in the parish, and my Norwegian residence card. And in 15 minutes, I had my Portuguese residency. I mean, miracle number one. I tell you, I was so shocked to get that CRUE or CRUE or whatever it's called. But anyway, and it's valid for 5 years. So what a roller coaster ride. That went then from going to not going to going not going, and then all of a sudden I have my residency, which means I can then return to Portugal without a problem. I've just got to do the 2-week quarantine, and then that gave me sort of like quickly. Then the Monday night I had to go for the COVID PCR test, and then the Tuesday I went to feed the pigs, make sure everything was okay, set everything up. I've organized that they've been taken care of, the fruit trees are going to be taken care of, and I left on Tuesday for South Africa. So 14-hour stopover in Amsterdam. I arrive at Cape Town 9 o'clock. The curfew starts at 9 o'clock, so I wasn't getting any family to fetch me from the airport. I was going to take a taxi. But then I had my traumatic arrival. I had the PCR test was sent to my email. So being an old woman, I didn't know how to do a screenshot on the phone. In fact, I didn't even know you did a screenshot on the phone. And I had been hoping to open my email with the airport free Wi-Fi to access the PCR test, to show them evidence of that when I arrived in South Africa. But unfortunately, my phone couldn't connect to the airport Wi-Fi. And of course, as you panic and you're trying more, it just wouldn't connect. And then it wanted me to sort of set up like a little free account to connect to the airport Wi-Fi. And I had to put in my phone number. So I put in my Norwegian number because that's the number I have. But every time I hit submit, it quickly changed from a +47 to a +27, and so it didn't recognize the number, and so it wouldn't let me create the free account to access the Wi-Fi. So as you can imagine, this was a huge problem, and everybody went past through the health check, did their PCR test, and Cindy remained. They wouldn't let me in without this PCR test. And it's like, I'm saying, it's there. And then eventually, after 3/4 of an hour, I thought, how about just taking my MacBook out, connecting to it that way using my mom's number, South African number. And so that's what I did. So I showed them the PCR test. They let me through. But by this time, everybody had left the airport. The airport was shutting down. The immigration people had already gone home or started heading off home. It was all closed. And so they had to call someone to come back to immigration to stamp my passport, let me in. And in the meantime, there's this huge thunder, lightning, heavy downpour, rainstorm going on outside. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to be hiring a car. It's already curfew. It's already now about 10:15. The airport's shut. There's nobody around. And this brings me to the second miracle. The first one was getting that residency in like 15 minutes. So the second miracle was, as I then came through the nothing to declare area, there was one lone guy standing there with a homemade taxi sign. And I was thinking, why is he standing there? There's no more flights, the airport's closed, there's no passengers, but he was standing there with his sign. It's like I'm telling you, the universe sent that guy there that night. And so he brought me to my mother's place. So that was like a miracle. So the wedding is Saturday, and I'll be back in Portugal next week. So I won't have a video out on Wednesday because I'm traveling, but after that there'll be another video. Sunday's video will probably be a little bit about the wedding and the area where it's going to be taking place. So keep safe, keep sane. Hope you enjoyed this little narrative video today, and I'll see you on Sunday.